Hi, I'm Josh Strauss. I'm a video producer and journalist at The Guardian, and I want to introduce the film that I've chosen today, Enter the Dragon. Probably my first entry point into the world of Kung Fu films and Bruce Lee, and it's a big blockbuster. I'll just give you a little taste of the story to whet your appetite. A secret agent, played by Bruce Lee, travels to compete in a martial arts tournament at an opium lord's island fortress. Williams, played by Jim Kelly, who is a hero of mine and a blaxploitation star, is also there to compete in this deadly tournament. I chose Enter the Dragon because it is important to me. As I said, it's my first entry point into the world of Kung Fu films. I was instantly drawn in to Bruce Lee's mysterious quest and the tournament and all the different martial arts fighters and pitting their skills against each other. It was very, very exciting. And seeing Jim Kelly, a black man, as one of the stars of this film, I was hooked. I wanted to see more films like that, and it sent me on a quest to kind of explore Bruce Lee's filmography and to try and satisfy this unquenchable thirst that I had for Kung Fu films to this day. In my video series for The Guardian, I feature Enter the Dragon and try and explain why Kung Fu films have been such a draw for black audiences. There's something about these films that does speak to black people. Just to give you a bit more context around this concerning Enter the Dragon, it came out at a pivotal moment in cinema history. Cinemas were struggling in the US, and the boost generated by the influx of Kung Fu films helped many cinemas to stay afloat. There was a big push in the 70s by Golden Harvest and the Shaw Brothers, those are two production companies that came out of Hong Kong, to sell their titles to an international market, and many of these films ended up in budget cinemas as double bills, or in late night screenings, because they were cheap to buy. This made them much more accessible to black audiences in both the US and the UK. There was also a conscious choice by distributors to try and market these films to black audiences, because they had proved to be so popular with their initial releases. It's hard to know which came first, the popularity of these films or the intentional marketing strategy. But it's abundantly clear that there were many themes in these films which attracted black audiences. For instance, non-white heroes, which aside from blaxploitation films, they were pretty much non-existent in the 70s. Then there were themes of resistance, community, self-improvement, loyalty, to name a few themes that really resonated. And the storylines as well, about vengeance and against oppression, and these were easy to identify with as a black person in the US or the UK. But Enter the Dragon is somewhat unique because it was such a big blockbuster. It was popular with all audiences around the world. The film grossed $100 million upon its release in 1973, making it one of the world's highest grossing films of all time up to then. It went on to have multiple re-releases all around the world. By 2010, it had grossed an estimated worldwide total of $350 million. The equivalent today would be about $1.2 billion if you adjusted for inflation. I go into much more detail about the history of Kung Fu films and the impact on black culture in the first episode of my Guardian series, Black Enough. So check it out if you're interested, and enjoy the film.